Dude, I love our chill new intro stream. I love it. It's all like, hey, do you want to take a ride with the Black Tower? Do you want to hang out with them for a little bit? Maybe just chill while we embrace siding and play some happy vibes with you. And then it's like we show up, and then it's like, you know what I mean?
Easy there, corn. Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Black Tower podcast. I think that hello was loud enough to wake us all up. I hurt my own ear, not even going to lie.
Wow, dude. That's impressive.
Bruh.
You should feel like proud of yourself for that.
Bruh, I mean, I'm excited for today. Everyone, I'm your Bajan Mahale.
It's true.
I sometimes hail the of the Bajans, which means I lead the battles. Which I don't know how that works out, because I'm pretty sure I couldn't pass a combat fitness test if I tried right now. But
you ride the lightning, sir. You wield Sidene. You carry the power of a god.
I'll use the fire. You got the lightning. The lightning's on your badge.
PT test.
The lightning's on your badge. I got the fire. The fire's
right.
mine.
You got that fire in you. And I'm the sword of on Mahale. Or you can call me Josh if you're nasty. I lead the lightnings. I'm like, hey, yo, lightnings, right there. That motherfucker needs to get crispified in a quick, fast hurry, if you know what I'm saying. And lightning's like, already done did it. Sup? Because lightning is fast.
We talked about lightning. We talked about lightning last week. So this will be surprise news for even the patrons listening live. There's an episode recorded last week. That nobody has heard other than Josh and I. We got together, we recorded on a Friday to make up for the Tuesday we didn't record. And I'm working on getting that edited, and it'll be available to patrons. I'm hoping for Wednesday evening, Thursday at the latest. I know it's a little late, sorry, but it will be available for you guys, and it will be going live on Valentine's Day. Here in the U.S., February 14th.
Wait, we're going live on Valentine's Day?
The episode is.
Oh, the episode.
Not
okay.
Us. Woo. Yeah, the episode we just recorded.
You almost got me in trouble, sir.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So, that'll be going live then, and once that's done, we will be back on our week ahead of schedule. So this episode that you're listening to live will not go publicly live until the 21st. So we're going to be back on a week ahead schedule, giving us some leeway, which means that all of you patrons will get your early access to episodes back like originally designed. You'll get the episodes back a week in advance. Even if you don't get to tune in live, you'll be able to watch them a week before everybody else gets to watch them. So, yeah.
Correct.
You weren't lied to. We did not record on Tuesday. We just didn't share that we recorded Friday because we kind of also last minute were like, yeah, we can do it, and did it.
And we did do it. We did did it.
We did do it, and it was absolutely Vernon's fault.
It was Vernon's fault.
Which we're gonna do an episode on Vernon later on. So
we do.
Yeah. Anyway, man, as we're recording this, the season 3 trailer will release tomorrow, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 8 a.m. Pacific time on Wednesday, the 12th of February. Nice little Valentine's thank you kiss gift from Amazon Prime and the folks over at the Wheel of Time Studios, peoples. So nobody's alone for Valentine's Day. You'll have Rand and Egwene and Nynaeve, and it looks like Ishii and Avi and Eleni and Leandrine and Mogi. Yeah,
Mogi,
Mogi. Yeah,
Muggy
Mogi.
Dean. We got that there,
Muggy
Muggy
Dean.
Dean.
And you'll have Clokey in the back, who may
Clokey
or
and
may not be
Dokey.
Canon Sori instead of Clokey. Who knows?
Clokey, Dokey, Brokey, and John.
Yeah. I would say Parony, but there's a good chance that he's going to be asleep or doing nothing. So who knows?
Him and Lan
Yeah.
just not doing anything, just peeing on trees and stuff.
It's new sword form. He who pees on trees and mopes.
Speaking of
But
peeing on trees,
Lan gets a pass because he's got butt rock. So
I mean, speaking of
Heron
peeing on trees, though,
hasn't shown butt rock, so he doesn't get a pass.
you know what they say? You don't pee on trees alone. You always want to bring a guest with you when you pee on trees. Did you know that? That's
Yeah.
really my issue with that scene. Is Lan was clearly alone, and that's
Yeah.
just not how we do things.
Well,
So
that's
to
why
make
we have a
sure,
guest.
yeah, that's
So
what I
when
was
we
gonna say.
go
To
and
make
pee
sure
on
we're
trees.
not peeing on a tree alone, I figured we'd bring in our guest to help us water these roots. And speaking of watering roots, look at those lovely plants behind you.
Look, pillow friends don't let pillow friends pee alone.
Welcome, Reese Sedai.
Let's get out there and water them roots, boys. How we doing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Introducing the Shiwi brought to you by Black Tower.
I'm already cooked. I'm already cooked. Okay, we can do this. We're kind of professionals. Hi, Reese. Welcome to the show.
Hey. Hi.
We're so happy you're here.
Happy to be here.
We here at the Black Tower believe in the buddy system.
That's right. Right. Make sure you have your battle buddy. Do you have your battle buddy?
Do my plants have names?
Wolf Brother asking the real questions here.
They do not. So I had read once that you're supposed to talk to your plants. It's good for them. And so I tried this once, but it turned into like a lecture about how they had to root because they couldn't depend on someone else to take care of them forever because that was me.
I can just see Reese like
It was
You
in
must
Spanish
grow on
too,
your
if that
own.
helps.
I will not coddle you. You will not have weak roots.
It's like, look, I know that, we all want somebody to take care of us, but in your case, that's me. So you should really put down some roots and learn to take care of yourself.
This is like the lecture you get with
These aren't
from
the
your
same
parents.
plants.
Those aren't the same plants. Those are all new plants since we had that discussion.
Guessing the last ones just couldn't quite hack it.
They were weak. They were soft.
I guess that they didn't listen, so they got grounded before you moved.
Look, I mean, like survival of the fittest, right?
That's right. That's right. They were not.
Did you grow in water? Perfect. Join my clan.
Love it. Love it.
Oh man.
Well, how are you guys, Andrew? How was your week been, buddy?
It's starting to get a bit better in most ways. So I was actually sick all weekend, which was not fun.
Ooh,
So,
that is not fun.
yeah. Don't know what it was. The only thing that I ate that I haven't ever eaten before that I know of that nobody else had that I think might have caused it was I got the they were like charred or crisp or fried or whatever they wanted to call them, Brussels sprouts at Longhorn Steakhouse down here in Morehead City. They tasted good because they were like, drizzled in honey butter. I mean, everything tasted good. But was recording with Rebecca Sedai talking about Mistborn.
Ooh, that's right.
I don't know if anybody knows that that's happening. I don't. Yeah, we haven't released any of that yet, but surprise, that's happening.
Surprise!
Because I'm actually reading Mistborn. I
Woo!
actually need to get off of my ass and actually start reading part 2 and taking notes on the chapters as I read it. But yeah, we got to like the last 30 to 45 minutes of that, and I went from being absolutely fine to nauseous and bloated and everything. So I don't recommend it. It was no fun. But other than that, everything's been pretty good. You know, I've been keeping my head down, focused at work, hands to myself. You know, just being a good boy.
Good job. Good boy, Andrew.
Thank you,
You've been such a good boy this week. I'm proud of you.
thank you.
Um,
If only I had a praise king. Then I'd feel extra special.
there's still time. We'll get there. My week has been hella busy. I don't know what happened at work. The last couple months, everybody in the world decided that, hey, now is a good time to actually use our IT department. And so I've been slam-a-lama ding-donged at work for like a month solid, even on my remote days. And it's cray-cray. Okay? It sometimes makes me feel so cray-cray that I feel like I'm hearing voices in my head telling me to do things that I don't want to do. I don't want to quit my job. I don't want to punch that guy in the throat because he doesn't know how a Wi-Fi dongle works. I don't want to hit my coworker who unplugged all of the cables in the switch because they didn't have green blinking lights next to them.
I think you do.
Want to do that. But also, I kind of want to do that. It makes the temptation really difficult to bear. Luckily, I have these the anti-taint effect juice that calms me. That's
Ironically, also named Tank.
also named taint. It's warring taint. Two different kinds of taint.
This is an HR violation to slam your ding dong at work.
Only if you get caught. Should we do this? Should we put a spoiler condom on and go?
Probably. Let's see. I forgot what numbers I use. Hold on. I got to
Let
count.
Reese pick
1,
one.
2, 3, 4. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, good.
5,
I'm glad we had the same thought.
6,
Completely and totally
7,
unplanned.
8, 9, 10. All right, Reese. Can you choose a number 1 through 10?
6.
Oh shit! She was decisive.
This one keeps getting chosen, man. You're a favorite. Here's your spoiler warning for today, courtesy of Sexy More Shoddy.
Welcome to the Black Tower, a Wheel of Time podcast. All right, let's check here. Okay. This podcast episode will be spoiling books 1 through... I mean, let's be honest here. Whatever Josh lets slip. So how about you pull that spoiler condom all the way on? Anyway, quit your whining. The last book came out in 2012. He was actually a ghost, and Rosebud was the name of his sled for creator's sake.
Yeah, the statute of limitations is long past. But we do offer spoilers for all the new folks. Whoa. Someone's puppy is real excited right now. Reese is like, that'd be my puppy.
Good.
Okay, cool.
So, today, a topic near and dear to the hearts of the members of the Black Tower and all Ashaman around the world. Voices in your head.
In your head, in your head, voices, voices, voices. Yeah, you like that? I practiced.
I mean, far better than I could do. Specifically, a certain voice that is normally in Rand's head. Sometimes Rand's voice is in this guy's head. But what about before the books started getting into your head? What about before the Eye of the World? What the hell was Lews Therin's stellar guidance before the Eye of the World? Why wasn't he there? If it's the same soul reincarnated,
The hell?
if he is indeed Lews Therin again, where was the voice? Where was his guidance? Why didn't he know blossoms of fire and arrows of fire and other miscellaneous objects of fighting weaves that for something of fire? Phallic columns of fire. Which is definitely something like that we would be weaving. Like they would just be fire dongs going through like enemy armies. Like
Phallic columns of earth and fire.
Like what? What happened to the Tyrian cavalry? Oh, they came down with a bad case of Sidene chlamydia. What is that? Fire dog.
Is that what the taint is? Is that what the Dark One's taint is? It's like the Sidene sexually transmitted disease.
That's what Cat Swain's been out studying all these years.
Oh god.
Do you have any?
Oh god.
Oh boy, Lanfear definitely said that, and that is a pegging joke.
I mean, you're loose again, Lews Therin.
What is that in Beer Fest?
Now that's a sticker we need to design right there.
Lanfear with a strap on.
I don't want to see that.
You're loose again, Lews Therin. Hey, there's a reason she was hard enough to survive.
Look, this was in a dream shard for a reason.
Dream Shard. Wheel of Time's version of AO3.
So what do we think? Reese, you got any thoughts? As the guest, you get first jab if you want it.
Oh,
or you can pass. No pressure.
Oh.
Tons of pressure.
I mean, don't listen to Lightning Boy over there.
Okay, so before I was thinking about this earlier today, and I was like, oh, so like Jiminy Theron, giving him like little bits of advice throughout life, like, hey, maybe you should like hit that crow with the slingshot. I don't know.
So Lews Therin is just like Jiminy Cricket, like
just like being Rand's conscience as he's growing up. Just like, I think you shouldn't talk to that guy. I don't like her.
She, you know what? She's good. Yeah, go for it,
like,
bro.
You should talk to that one.
And then he's like, "That's Kelly Coughlin."
She's no Ileana, but
he's like, but
yeah, the ear. You got any plums, bro?
I picture Rand in like math class in 3rd grade. He's like, oh, number 3.
Oh, the school marm is up there talking, and he's just like,
I like this teacher.
No, I like this. I like this this premise here because we go through the whole books, right? And then Rand starts hearing the voice in like Shadow Rising, I think. Maybe at the end of like Dragon Reborn.
I think he gets little bits in Great Hunt. I think it's after the Eye of the World.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So like,
it's after he starts channeling Sidene in earnest.
Yeah. Well, and he doesn't really have any control over it until book 3, but he does have instinct, right? He does instinctual things, which I think is what they were trying to do in the TV show with with the scene where Rand channels a whole bunch of fire arrows at the Shan-Chan. I'm still not happy with that scene, but I think that's where they were going. I think that they wanted to show that he had the instinct to weave flows at a much more advanced level than he had the training to do so. And I think that's their introduction into that. But we spend the whole series going, who is this other voice? Is it actually Lews Therin? Is it actually just Rand? What's going on with this? If it is just Rand, how does he know all these things? And then, of course, we get confirmation from the corrector. Oh my God! Woo!
I mean that too.
A little bit more of this.
Have a little more taint. Just.
We get confirmation from the creator, who states that it is not another person. It is 100% one person the entire time, the whole way through, which kind of fucks with you as a reader, though, because even going through it for the first time, Min has a viewing about two souls in one body, and eventually one must live and one must die. And Rand takes this to mean that he's sane and somehow has the soul of Lews Therin with him. And that's just wrong. It's just so wrong. But if we rewind back before Rand starts channeling in earnest, there's no reason for him to begin going insane yet, right? But the voice is still there. It's got to be still there. So what's the breakdown? What's the dissonance between, why does he no longer recognize the voice in his own head? Is it just the madness, or is there some substance to that?
So when it comes to hearing, you're absolutely right about the Shadow Rising. Because just looking, the first time he actually hears a voice, because he's unsure if he does or not, is in the Shadow Rising. They're in the middle of fighting a bunch of Trollocs, and a voice in his head just goes, "Now!" And he unleashes like a massive, impressive attack with the one power. So that's the first time like he hears it.
Storm.
Yeah, but he's not sure if he ever actually heard it. Like, he's not sure that he's actually, quote unquote, actually hearing another voice until like book 5 or book 6. But we start seeing bits of Lews Therin's kind of like personality and memories coming through in the Great Hunt whenever Rand is around Selene. Because he has the outburst with Lanfear at the beginning of the Shadow Rising, but I think in the Great Hunt he's walking around with like some little bits of memories of what things could be keep jumping into his head, and he's like, "Where did that come from? Was that from the weird flicker things? Was that from this other thing? That's weird. Okay, moving on."
Hey, how did I know that?
Yeah. How did I know what I didn't know that I just knew? And it's like, well, actually.
And I just thought this is kind of weird as a reader because, Rand's he's our main character. We don't want him to be crazy. We don't want him to be going through what everybody else went through. We want him to be different. And so it's easy as a reader to like explain away that like, no, he's not crazy. He is just the Dragon Reborn. No, that's a past life that he's hearing. But there's also, the fact that he is a male channeler. He is touching Sedai. He is going to go crazy. So I was kind of wondering when thinking about this, we all kind of have that voice in our head that tells us right from wrong. Is the taint what gave it a body, per se? Like a person, a Lews Therin to tap into?
I think we have to kind of say yes, right? Because Cadsuane, when her introduction is pretty brutal, right? She comes in and is just basically a total bitch to Rand. And she does it on purpose. But one of the things she does to try and set him off guard is to ask him if he started hearing voices yet. And he's like, what? And she says right then, that's one of the first symptoms of madness that nearly all men who can channel eventually start to have, right? And
Well,
I love Reese. Real quick, Andrew. Reese, I love something that you just brought up with. We don't want Rand to be mad. We're rooting for him because you learn pretty quickly that he's the Dragon Reborn, right? Like, so you want him to win. You are told again and again and again how his failure, his failure, is the guaranteed destruction of the world. And you don't want that as the reader. Like in real life we might want that, but as a reader we're like, we want everything. We want a happy ending to the story. We want this to work out. We want everybody, we want the dickheads to die or to at least learn their lessons and not be dickheads anymore. And then we want the good people to have fruitful farms that produce lots of great Two Rivers tobacco. And then, we want all this to happen. And then when Rand starts going insane, I mean, let's face it, by book 4, book 5, he's batshit insane. Like, by Lord of Chaos, by book 6, Lord of Chaos, he's actively, physically having to restrain himself committing murders. Like, we're already there. He's already insane. Now, he's got a nice firm grip on that, but he's insane. He cray cray.
Yeah, it's like a firm grip on like slime. Firmly grasp it.
Now I can hear it. I hear it now. Thank you.
Hear what? What?
Nothing. Hi. Anyway, I lost my train of thought there.
Your slime up.
Alrighty then. Alrighty. I mean, so when it comes to like the full on like answer of what Lews Therin's voice is for Rand, like we have that answer. We know what it is and what it isn't. But answering that question half ruins the premise of the question here, I think. And I don't know if we want to do that this early on.
No, we have
why
to attach a completely and totally nonsensical meaning to something in order to continue this conversation. And it'll help if one of us can get emotionally invested in the pointless and outlandish meaning that we can attach to it.
Yeah. So, I mean,
it's a formula for good podcasting. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, that's not why I was doing it, but yeah, I mean, yeah, that was totally why I was doing it.
So
it'd be a more fun thing to have to work around a little bit later in the episode, maybe. Who knows? I mean,
one of the things I liked about the Taint and Lews Therin is that there are so many things in the book series that Robert Jordan gives us to explain away the madness. He's like, oh, heroes of the Horn can remember their past lives. And, oh, these people can remember their past lives. And, oh, he can remember these weaves. And there are so many ways that we can, as fans, be like, see, he's not going crazy. It's this. It's not going crazy. There's lots of bargaining chips that were given throughout the series to help us when, at the end of the day, like, we know what it is. We just don't. We don't want it to be that. So we're going to grab onto these different things, and he gives us so many different ways to do it. And I think that's fun.
So I just had a thought about the Taint. What if one of the first things that male channelers start hearing are voices is because part of what the Dark One did in the creation of the Taint was grab a snapshot of the insane minds of the 100 companions and embedded it in the Taint to be the insane voices that afflict future channelers.
I like that. I like that. Here's another thing I like. We don't get a lot of Rand's childhood. We just don't, right? But a couple things we do know.
I mean, neither did Kari. So
Ooh! Oh God!
she still got more than Tigraine.
Yeeted.
What's that? Is that like a spear to the gut? A sword to the gut? One of those?
Oh.
Like an open wound?
Stop!
Was that too cold?
I'm about to say some shit that's gonna get us canceled again. Okay. We do know a couple things, right? We know that, and this goes along with.
Yep.
Is that the Triple Crown? Is that? I think that's a Triple Crown, which I think Snakes doesn't Snakes and Foxes already have that?
I don't know.
For those of you who don't know, there's a title in our Discord, the Triple Broken Crown. If you tell a joke that's so funny, it breaks. It breaks the three people on the screen anyway. You get the Triple Broken Crown, and yeah, well done, sir. Okay. Rand's childhood. Okay, so if this is Lews Therin reincarnate prior to any sort of taint touching, well, any sort of Dark One's taint touching, you have Tam. Robert Jordan. Okay, we've got some mirroring here, right? Reese, as you pointed out, which I love, that Robert Jordan gives us excuses for Rand's insanity. He gives us excuses. We don't want him to be insane. We need him to keep it together. So we look for excuses. Oh yeah, other people heard voices. Other people had this. Other people had that. So we look for these excuses. What if we already know Tam is a Heron Mark Blade Swordmaster? We know he's the best archer in the Two Rivers. He wins the Beltane archery competition every year. And he almost always wins the staff competition. The only person who can best him there is Abel Coffin. Okay. What if
he's the only person able to beat him?
What if Rand being Lews Therin reincarnated is what helped him learn to do those things with his dad? Right? Because his dad teaches him the flame and the void. That's obviously going to be something that echoes back to Lews Therin, because Lanfear calls it the oneness and says that the longer people spend in the oneness, they have, access to enlightenment, etc. But what if the fact that Rand was Lews Therin reincarnated is what gave him the ability to learn from Tam as effectively as he did, even without the echo of the voice, right? Because I think they even say that Rand is the best bow shot out of Rand, Matt, and Perrin. Like, by far. They even say, like, he's so much better. And we just attribute that to, well, Tam is the best archer in the Two Rivers. Okay, cool, but that doesn't mean that Rand is automatically the best youth archer in the Two Rivers. How many youths are like, yes, Papa, I want to do all the things you want to do?
So, hold on. Random thought. Well, not random thought. Quick question. The sickness you get from channeling the first time, is it indeed from channeling the first time? Or would it happen just from embracing?
Mm.
Ooh.
Because if it only happens if you actively use and channel it, has Rand potentially been micro-embracing the source from the age that he could? Because of the flame and the void? Has he been micro-dosing, like, Sidene?
He's been
Like
building up an immunity.
I've been building up an immunity to iocane powder. Building up
I
an
mean,
immunity
just
to
a
the
You
thought.
dark.
fall
I
for
mean,
the classic ruse.
The first is never to channel the true source. The second, and only slightly less well known, is this: never go up against a charge when Wyramon leads the charge.
and it doesn't really answer any of the question, but it was just a thought I just had.
It's a good thought, though. Because, hold on, though. It's a good thought because we do have confirmation that male channelers also experience blocks. So wilders who touch the source and learn to channel without any guidance develop blocks. What was it? Andral, whom we love, came to the tower with one such block. He couldn't channel unless he was holding a strap of leather. There was another Ashaman who couldn't channel unless, oh gosh, I can't remember. As I'm going through the Watt reread, which, by the way, follow us on our socials because we are doing a Watt reread right now. We are rereading the Path of Daggers. It's really annoying because there's lots of Perrin and Fail, but we still love it and we still read it. Seriously, I cannot wait to get through Crossroads. Like, this is where, look, I am 100% the slog is a lie. Okay, the slog is a lie, but also the slog is a little bit not a lie. Crossroads is sloggy. I'm not looking forward to that. But
I mean, so like the reason I'm thinking that like maybe he does, not to completely interrupt your thought
go
here
for it, 'cause
at the first
be
moment
honest.
that you pause speaking enough for me to do so.
I lost my train of thought like 10 minutes
Perfect.
ago. I was doing the Michael Scott thing where I just kept talking.
Perfect. So the first time that we know for a fact that Rand embraces and channels is his cleansing of Bella.
Mm.
It's whenever he's desperately trying to make something happen external of himself. Because he's only worried about Egwene for some. I mean, we know why, but if only he knew then what he knew by the end,
I wish
that she would choose that she was into people like Gawain. Like, come on,
when
fucking
I was younger.
bad choices. Anyway, everything
We all make 'em.
beforehand, everything
Everybody-
beforehand
That'll-
was just him potentially like embracing himself. Like, imagine about the same time he becomes a teen and he's really starting to go through puberty. He's putting on muscle. He's able to draw the bow better. He's got his endurance is increasing. His stamina is increasing. And while he's doing that, he's able to embrace small amounts of Sidene, which also give him minor improvements to like his eyesight and just his observation and being in tune
I just drew a bow.
and being in tune with his body. And that's why as a teen he excels so much at archery. Because he has the unfair advantage of embracing some small, minute amount of Sidene.
Well, so, but yeah, no, like, I love where you're going with this because, again, learning the flame and the void is not something everybody learns. Like, when Rand is like, oh, yes, I assume the flame and the void in the eye of the world, Lan is like, yes, sheep herder, that is good. You should continue to utilize that when you are drilling your lessons. Like, it is a technique that is experienced by very few, that is practiced by very few. So the fact that Rand would have access to this teaching is rare, and I think that's what allowed Rand. That was essentially sort of a Wilder's version of guiding for his first touch of Sidene. Now,
is that part of his Ta'Veren?
Ta'Veren armor, what?
He had a
Um,
good teacher.
I mean, yeah.
but so it gave him access to not have a block, but it didn't save him from the sickness, right? Which so he got what, like maybe like a half guiding.
Yeah.
Now the real world explanation for this, honestly, is that probably Robert Jordan hadn't established the rules at this point in time.
Yeah.
But to make it work, we can say that Rand had some sort of Taviran advantage that allowed him to sort of cheat the system a little bit. And I
And
actually,
I wonder if you could kind of explain it away with like he had tapped into such little amounts that was more like, nah, it's just allergies. Nah, we're fine.
Yeah. Well, it's like, that there's what is it? There's a dude that has like been for decades exposing himself to like increasingly larger doses of like snake venom to
yeah,
build an immunity to snake venom. And so Rand got like a little bit of an advantage course in that once he hit puberty.
yeah. No, the snake venom guy, that's actually a super interesting dude because snake venom is all pretty much.
I've never met a guy that says that, hey, I inject myself with snake venom and never, been bored.
Never been. So this one time when I was
Like,
injecting
I've heard
myself
that
with
story a
snake
million.
venom.
Let me know when you move up to something exciting like drinking Komodo dragon spit.
Oh my god. Do we need a shot for the Gathering Madness Watt mixology contest that is toe
Dragon
rockin'
spit?
spit?
Tora.
That
It'll
might
be
better than
rockin'
just
spit
dragon
is the
spit.
little shot glass, and then toe rockin' spit will be the big shot glass.
Toe rockin' spit could be like when you make the regular one into, the rockin', whatever, the bigger one could be when you drop the smaller one in like a drop shot drink.
Yes.
There you go. Anyway, so I go on this because trying to give credence to Rand potentially hearing Lews Therin's voice as early as possible. There is a point early in the Great Hunt, like chapter 3, where Rand he's real paranoid, thinks that somebody's watching him. And I think we find out like there's a gray man watching him, because this is when they're still in the Faldara keep, and there's a gray man running around because it's the gray man that almost like 360 no scope Suwon. And then Faldara's like, oh fuck, we're so embarrassed. Oh, how did that get there?
No. What
And
happened?
Suwon's like, oh, the shadow will never have me.
It's the Spider-Man, the Peter Parker meme.
Yeah.
How did that get there?
Right before, she gets pissed and walks away and he's crushingly depressed.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It fits. It just fits.
Yeah. But then after he's like pissed off Perrin and Matt and they're like leaving him alone, he's, kind of got this voice in his head that goes, well, you finally did it. And it's a bit of a toss-up. Like, is that his guilt? Or is there potentially a little more to it? I think it's one of those things that whenever you look at it with hindsight, you could make just as strong of an argument that it's his own guilt as it is the voice of Lews Therin. But given that we've made it this far in the episode, it's perfectly, I think, fair to say that's the same fucking thing. Lews Therin's voice isn't real. It's not actually the voice of Lews Therin, and it's not pure madness. It's a mix of madness and Rand's refusal to accept his identity as the dragon, causing his identity as Rand al'Thor and his identity as the dragon to split and be at odds with himself. And the fact that he has memories from his past life that come by virtue of him being a reincarnated soul with the dragon moniker doesn't help that basically extreme case of dissociative identity disorder augmented by the taint. That's what Lews Therin's voice actually is. For anybody that didn't know somehow by now,
Yeah.
or just hadn't got to that part or whatever, I'm not
Rewind
making
back
fun
to
of
the
you if you
spoiler
didn't know
warning
that.
where
I'm making fun
Morshadi
of it.
gives the speech about, you know,
Yeah.
Rosebud was the name of his bat. The Titanic sank.
So, hey, the news is here. Oh no,
Oh snap!
they found us.
They-
It wasn't us.
I feel like there's other news to cover this week. Anyway, sorry.
Sir.
The trailer's coming out
Yeah, the
tomorrow. That's
trailer.
exciting.
Ah,
Yeah, the
I know.
trailer.
It is
Definitely
coming
nothing to
tomorrow,
do with anything else. That's exciting.
And if you go to the Dusty Wheel tomorrow, you might see someone's familiar face.
Yeah.
Matt Hatch.
Yeah, Oates, Matt Hatch, that guy. Everybody knows that guy. Innkeeper Hatch. That's what I was talking about.
That's
But yeah.
totally what you meant. I could tell.
So that's who loses. It's
Okay, yeah.
just Rand's madness augmented dissociative identity disorder personality. I'm assuming that I'm using DID correctly. I feel like I am from the little bit I know of DID. I could be completely wrong. I don't know if DID personalities are able to communicate with each other in the way that Rand and Lews Therin do. I don't know if that's closer to just multiple personality disorder. I don't know.
But either way, I like Luz telling
Hey,
little
Rob.
Rand, like, hey,
don't feel bad.
don't do that.
Me too.
They obviously took pity on the most pathetic person they could find.
Okay, Mr. Like, been on the Dusty Wheel how many times at this point?
Yeah, because they feel so sorry for me.
Like a lot?
They're like, look at
Because he
John,
probably
he needs
trusts
some
you to
friends.
like watch your mouth better than me.
That might also be part of it.
Yeah.
Shush. Anyway,
Oh,
Okay,
Okay, so
it's okay, Matt Hatch. Message received. I got you. You'll be hearing from my lawyer. Breathe. Breathe, man. You're turning red. Breathe.
Get this man a cudgel.
Oh, I might have just caused Josh to drown in rum and coke, which I think is the way he'd want to go.
I was gonna say it's pretty great.
Yeah.
I died happy, Mama. I died happy. So, in the explanation of what the voice is, do you think that has a bearing on Rand's personality as a child? Don't choke on your aspirations. I didn't know Lord Vader started working at the Weekly Wheel News. That's awesome. Good job,
Hey,
guys.
Hmm.
I'm going to say yes. I'm
Who
going
do
to
you
say
think calls out all of the fake sources? You know, this is the story you told. This is the truth. I swear, you lied.
You lie.
You're part of the Rebel Alliance and a spy. Take her
He just
away.
takes over. He just takes over J. Jonah Jameson's position at that, and he's just like, "You said I could have the office job. I lied."
I lied. Do you know what I want? I want Weekly Wheel News to have like a Last Supper style image, and it's like Vader and J. Jonah Jameson, and like Rob has got to be obviously in the middle, right? And then like famous reporters like Aaron Brockovich is at the table, like just all these like
Clark
famous
Kent,
Hollywood
of
reporters.
course.
Do it, Rob. You need to do it. You can have that one. That one's free. Courtesy of the Black Tower.
It's a free idea from us. You're on your own when it comes to any of the other. Yeah.
I got
Whenever
although there was
Marvel
some
and
headlines today.
DC and Disney and everybody else start coming after you,
Yes.
we'll throw $5 into the GoFundMe
Do you
at
think
least.
Disney will throw a cease and desist at Weekly Wheel?
Absolutely. Cease and desist get thrown around for nothing these
They
days.
do though. They really do.
They're fun. They're like flowers at a wedding. Just
Right.
throw them.
They are.
We got one for the pre-show. If you want to see the pre-show, sign up on Patreon at blacktowerpod.com. Anyway. So the
Rob-
explanation of who Lews Therin's voice
Rob
actually
does
is,
have
or what
wide
it is.
arms. They are good
Yeah.
for hugs. Rob
Yep,
is
they
a
are.
good hugger.
That's true.
One of you.
Well, if there's any question about the triple broken before, there's definitely not a question now. Very good. Oh. Oh God.
Also, Weekly Wheel News. Love it. That's the best use for a cease and desist right there.
Oh.
Oh, God. Oh, my stomach hurts.
Oh. So,
Okay.
do I think Lews Therin's voice existed for Rand as a child? Yes and no. Yes, because Lews Therin's voice is Rand's voice. It's just a different part of his subconscious that takes on a different form. Was it Lews Therin's voice as we have any way, shape, or form seen it in the books? No, because that version, it wasn't that Lewis, it was Patricia instead.
Oh, that wasn't me.
Because it's kind of hard to have the voice of the previous dragon in your head because you're the new dragon when you don't know that you're the dragon reborn.
I mean,
I was trying to think of some joke to make about like the only dragon you've seen before is your dad dragging his sack across your mom's forehead,
dragging
but
these nuts.
I felt like that might be a little rude. A little rude. You feel better now, Kari? Kari.
As long as it's consensual, I think it's great.
Oh yeah. They're married. It's fine. Married. She's cool with it.
It was in the prenup.
We want pre-nuts. Yeah.
This action has been sanctioned by both the village council and the village wisdom
And the women's circle.
and the women's circle.
Oh, God.
Go forth in the lights and drag thy sack across thine forehead.
That's like the running the thumb.
In nomine
Wow.
Patri Spiritus Sanctus.
God, Reese, you're such a bad influence on us. We would never make these jokes if you weren't here.
I'm sorry. I try so hard to hold it in.
That's why you gotta hope that like one of the children's stories that survived is like the Lion King, so that whenever Tam did that, he just went Simba.
Remember. Ooh, you.
Jeez.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay.
Oh.
What were you saying, Andrew? You were saying something about...
Yeah, so it's the same voice, just given a different form, a different kind of body, a different kind of personality. Because Rob also makes a good point. If it was actually the voice of Lews Therin, why doesn't he speak in Old Tongue?
Take my dragon to the old town road. I'm gonna talk till I can't no more.
I got the Forsaken in the bag. Thousand on attack.
Is that going to be our idol submission this year? I think that
somebody should do it.
I'll
somebody
take my
should do it.
dragon to the old town road. Love it. Okay, do it. Say the thing. You were going to say the thing.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's a good point. Like, the point would be like, okay, well, why didn't, if that was actually the voice of Lews Therin speaking to him from his soul, then why didn't he speak like the high chant version of the old tongue, which is what they would have spoken in his class of personnel in the Age of Legends?
Which
But
is what they did
also,
speak in
like,
the like the cold open of what, episode 6 or episode 8,
episode 8.
where Lews Therin and the
The
10
one where they made Lews Therin seem like he only wanted to save the world because of his son. No
because
other reason.
everything is so perfect right now.
You can't
We can
have
make
a
it
man
more
that wants to save the
perfecter.
world without it being directly wanting to save his son or his wife.
We can make it more perfecter.
Yeah.
There's already no crime and no war and no disease and no famine. We can make it better.
No, this was after the boar. Like the boar was already open at that point in that.
No, in the
open.
TV show, I mean.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Do we have confirmation of the boar being open at that point?
That's what they were talking about doing. That's what they were talking about fighting.
The boar?
No, the boar was already open. They were talking about the fight to go and close it. That's what they were discussing. That he was like, we got to take the fight to them. And he was like, okay, we got to do this thing. And then he turned around and just like talked to his child, like was like staring at like his son, and they made it appear like the only reason he even wanted to really do anything was for the sake of his son, which is a tropey thing that they do to men in TV, they do to men in TV shows that I'm tired of. Don't be wrong, ladies in TV and movies got it far worse. Y'all been troped a lot longer for a lot worse reasons. If we could just stop the troping for all the bullshit, men do shit for a lot better and a lot dumber reasons than just, I have a son.
I mean, okay, but in defense of this particular trope, I would do evil and unholy things to keep my kids safe. Without even thinking about it.
It could be tropey and true.
Right. But the line between trope and reality is drawn at at least for me, is drawn at the boundary of immediate threat, right? I am not going to Lews Therin, Telamon, defend the world or defend my children against the world every time they walk out the front door, which is what the trope I think is it's like, oh, he will grow up in a world that knows war. So does 99.99999999999% of humanity, and you can't change that. So therefore I can't do anything to defend my kids from knowing that war exists. I can't do anything to know that to let to raise my children in a world where famine doesn't exist. I can't affect that change. Now, what I can do though is I can tell my kids that if you go to school and someone's bullying you, I can say, hey, tell them to knock it off. If they don't stop, tell a teacher. And if the teacher says it doesn't do anything about it, you knock that little shithead right up in his nuts. And when you kick him, you're not aiming for his nuts, you're aiming for his chin. And when that happens, call me and I'll take you out for ice cream and we will eat ice cream in front of the little shithead and his little shithead parents. I can do that and I will do that. And I'll fight a kid's parents if I have to. Like that's just how it is. The problem with the trope is that you have people who want to do things that are vastly outside of their control. That somehow men have this arrogance that I can stop all war. No, you can't. Stop. Hollywood, please stop. Put some realism in your men wanting to defend the people they love. Please. Also, Andrew, I just interrupted you, and I'm sorry.
No, please. I interrupted you how many times?
Yeah, you dick. God.
See, I call it tropey
7 years
because of like just the egregious frequency that is the trope, that's the thing that's used. It is the main motivation for Gerard Butler's character in Greenland. It is the main motivation for not the best guy to ever play the Hulk in what was that disaster movie 2012, where he's like already
Oh,
the divorced dad with barely any visitation rights, but he still risks everything to save his kids and his ex-wife who's remarried.
the one. Yeah, because they did. They brought,
He played the Hulk. It was my least favorite Hulk.
and they brought back. They brought back that cast, didn't they?
I don't
For
know.
Captain America: New World Order, it's that cast that came back,
I don't know.
isn't it?
But I'm talking about him from the 2012 movie. Because they barely take off in the little prop plane whenever California falls into the water. Because there's massive earthquakes and they fly.
You're talking about the one
Woody.
with Edward Norton.
Yeah, I think so. John Cusack. Sorry, that's him. Because it's the one where Woody Harrelson is standing there at Yellowstone, and then Yellowstone detonates, and he's like, "It's so beautiful," and then gets blown away.
Wait, there's a Hulk movie with Woody Harrelson.
It's not a Hulk movie. I'm saying the main guy played the Hulk before.
So
Jesus
fun,
Christ.
dude.
We're doing well.
So it's the whole trope in that they try to make it part of the reason that King Leonidas leaves Sparta and takes his contingent of 300, which again, it's not the most historically accurate film ever, but it's like the main reason that dude leaves to go and try to save his son, played by what's his nuts, the guy that played Mysterio in the Spider-Man movie.
Oh, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal. Day After Tomorrow. It's the main reason he goes to brave like dead drop middle of hurricane. Like it's so frequently done
Yeah.
that they just pick a dad and say that he will do just fucking anything just because his son and maybe wife or ex-wife are in danger, and it's movie after movie after movie after movie after movie after movie after movie, and I'm like, can a guy have a different motivation? At this point, I don't care if he's trying to save a fucking Twix bar. Like, give him a different motivation than like, I gotta save my son.
Hey,
Like-
Soundscapes of Time is up in the chat. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
If you guys
You
haven't-
walked in on my rant about the trope of them saying that male character, that father-like characters can only ever do shit in movies that they're trying to save their child or someone that acts like their child. Fucking Pierce Brosnan in Dante's Peak.
Oh, great example.
Another one.
I
He's
haven't seen-
only a badass geologist because he tries to save the girl that he's now in love with and her kids.
Yeah.
Like, again, it's so many movie after movie after movie after movie after movie, and I'm tired of it. And that's why when I saw it as an element of the opening for season 1, episode 8, I was so disappointed in it. I'm like, that's the fuck are you on about? That wasn't Lews Therin's motivation in the slightest.
No, it was not. That was completely
To
different.
take the fight to Shao. You completely like glossed over the fact that he had given the Howl of Servants an entire time to do their own plan that failed because they couldn't keep the nuclear football access keys safe. And so now he was going with option B because their option A failed.
He was literally reacting to a broken arrow.
Yeah.
If you've not
but
seen
instead,
that
you
movie,
you maintain the constant misinformation that the fandom propagates. That Lews Therin was an arrogant asshole that just thought that he could do no wrong and could do everything himself. It's goddamn misinformation, and I won't fucking tolerate it here. Not in my goddamn Andor, not in my goddamn Ranland. All
I
right.
called you 6 times, and not a fuck you.
Yeah, that's another good example. Fucking Gladiator. Not Gladiator 2. We're not talking about Gladiator 2. We won't talk about Gladiator 2.
Loyal servant to the true Emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
I need to watch that movie again. It's so good.
That was good, but it sounded more like dude from the fuck was that that movie where he plays the drone operator? Call sign Reaper, drone operator.
Oh.
I just watched it not too long ago because it's got the
Other
it's
Russell
got the
Crowe.
JTAC guy. Yeah. It was a good voice. You know, it's a good voice whenever
Whenever
Books
the
of Mercy
guy who does
Soundscape of
audio
Time.
engineering is saying
Yeah.
that. Yes, thank you.
Yep, there you go. Cousin Eddie. Cousin Eddie.
That was but that's a great example though.
That was a good one because he wasn't the mainstay of the movie. He just became the hero of the movie for sacrificing. Like that one.
But he was
it's a fair point of the trope in the scope of it fitting all the tropes. If that was how it was done, where he wasn't the mainstay of the movie and the main character of the movie, I can kind of get that.
We weren't. We also, in that particular instance, he was doing everything he could, knowing that he could not necessarily affect the change, and then went, "Oh my God, I have an opportunity to do this."
Yeah.
And
he was left with no other option.
Yeah, and what made it beautiful is that he made the decision in the moment without any hesitation, and that showed the true depth of his character, a character which up until this point has been borderline crazy. Like
it was a sacrifice in the wake of necessity.
Yes.
Not I'm going to sacrifice everything because I have this thing, and that's my only motivation for doing anything ever at all.
Yes.
Sorry. Complete and total tirade tangent about, like, to be fair, like the one trope, honestly, the one trope that affects guys that I think is negative. Trust me, if that's all we got, like, we really don't have it that bad when it comes to movies and tropes. We don't.
Yeah.
But it irks the shit out of me. Like, again, I could have a lot more to complain about.
We could start
a
a complainy podcast and just complain about shit all day. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Just go start killing your wives and starting podcasts.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. Hi, Reese.
What? There's
then we'd have to
trope
move.
for you. I don't know what you want.
We'd have to move to, like, Romania or something.
Damn. Okay.
I mean,
I know what video you're referencing. It's in Romania. I found it, guys.
His name was Andrew too.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you think, Reese, about where was Lews? Where was little Lews whenever it was Toddler Rand?
Little Lews and Toddler Rand.
No.
I like to think that it was his imaginary friend, you know? He's like, yeah, my imaginary friend told me not to talk to I don't know, one of the kids from
the Copland.
Terran Ferry. The Terran Ferry folk.
One of those Terran Ferry folk.
Maybe we don't talk to those Terran Ferry folk. My imaginary friend told me not to. So and Tam's like, well, I can't fault him there.
Tam's like,
I've never met an imaginary person that was wrong, so.
I love it.
I can see Tam just being like, I got too many fucking sheep to herd to deal with this shit right now.
Tam's like, all right, okay.
Rand's like, Dad, my best friend told me to do this. And he's like, cool, Rand. Go chop wood for the fire.
Better yet, Rand, Tam just keeps trying to take better stock of his brandy. Every time Rand talks about his imaginary friend, Lews Therin.
It's like, how many barrels of brandy I got? Okay. Same as last time. I don't know what's wrong with the boy.
He's like, I don't know what the fuck he keeps. How does he do it, man? The barrels are still sealed, but he's clearly drunk as shit.
He's drunk off his mind.
It's like, I kind of wish the
drunker
barrels
than a
were
Copland
empty.
at Beltane.
Okay, right though. Like, if the barrels were empty, that would be a better explanation.
Oh, I wonder if you could actually pinpoint an activation point for Lews.
You know what? There is a point where you hear the voice for the first time. There is a moment where the voice presents itself.
You know what, Rob? Yes.
Time.
Yes, it's a trope. It's a trope. On his deathbed, he turns good. What a trope.
Yeah. What a dick. Oh,
It
I've
is a
been
trope.
evil my whole life, and now I'm going to change my ways before I die. Nice. Nice, Vader. Huh. Did you hear about
No one's ever
Voltaire,
heard of that
the
one before.
philosopher? The French philosopher Voltaire, when he was on his deathbed, a priest came to him and said, Monsieur, it is your time. Renounce Satan. Come back to God's good graces. And Voltaire said, now, my friend, now is not a good time to be making enemies.
Mhm.
And I love it. I love it. As far as Rand hearing Lews Therin's
we have a
voice,
caveat. We have a caveat. Not voice, influence.
Okay. So this is exactly where I was going to go with this. Wow, it's like you and me are on the same page there. Books immersed. I love it. Makes me happy.
I mean,
I was going to say that
you'd
I.
have to be on the same note. Get it? Soundscape. Is that like the start of Ave Maria?
Ave Maria.
All I can think of now is like the
Although-
first Grown Ups movie when Rob Schneider's
When
character
he-
is singing Ave Maria for the
See-
coach's funeral.
What I think of is Step Brothers when he goes, "Por ti volare." I love that scene. It's
Be
great.
careful, man. Jordan's gonna have you singing in the books next.
I'll be a gleeman in one of the common rooms. Let's do this.
My plants are growing. Shut up.
Wow, I didn't know I had the technique for wood singing.
Listen here, you ogier bastard. Stop singing.
Stop singing to my wood.
I ain't got enough pots big enough for these things. Can you imagine an ogier pot farmer?
Dude, like an ogier just like coming out of the bathroom, just like, hey yo ho. God damn it,
Look.
stop it.
Just imagine it though. Like, imagine it, an ogier weed farmer.
Snoop.
Bruh,
Oh my god. you have an ogier.
have
in
you
the
tried
weed
that
farm?
new Steading Sofu Kush?
It's the motherfucking OGIER. Lawyer! Dabba dabba da.
One puff of this and you'll never be hasty again in your life.
Okay. When it comes to Lews Therin, prior voice in the head influence on Rand, I think that you have the same soul of Lews Therin. And what do we know when we're talking about parallels in the Wheel of Time? You have the souls of the heroes of the Horn that are woven into the pattern to be heroes of the Horn. So the pattern takes this soul, preserves the soul, weaves it into the pattern when it needs the soul to react in the way that that soul would react. In this case, do we need Rand to be the best archer? Absolutely the fuck not. We really don't. We really don't need him to be any kind of archer. But he's the
Yes,
best
you do.
archer
If
in
you're
the
doing the
series.
TV show. you
Why?
do.
Because he learned the flame and the void, and he took to that like a duck to water because it resonated with something that his soul already understood. So when it comes to Rand as toddler Rand learning the flame and the void as he grew up, young Rand learning the flame and the void as he grew up, as Tam taught him to use a bow and arrow, as Tam taught him to use a spear, as Tam taught him to use these things to defend the sheep, defend the farm. When wolves come around, I'm sure there's coyotes. When you have to go hunting because you have to live off the land. All these things were a necessity for Rand to learn, and I feel like he learned them much more easily than other children did because it was the soul of Lews Therin who already had an understanding of the flame and the void, the oneness. that sort of meditative concentration that comes with hours and hours and hours of practice.
I am
So-
the one.
I think the influence started at birth. I really do. I think as soon as Rand was born and started walking around, he was Lews Therin, reborn, and as a result, he had, I don't know, what is like a sort of cheat codes on life, right? Where he didn't necessarily know it, but when he learned it, it resonated. It was familiar to him, and that's something that a lot of people don't have.
And I think that's something that's kind of unique to the Wheel of Time, is that kind of like I guess not necessarily unique to the Wheel of Time, but that the Wheel of Time has is that kind of like soul mark, where it's like this soul has been here before, and they can kind of like pick up on different things that, I don't know, maybe a soul that hasn't been through this wouldn't. And so Rand can kind of pick up on different things because he does have that kind of like Lews Therin stamp on his soul, where he can kind of like pick up on different things that maybe he wouldn't if he wasn't Lews Therin reborn.
Well, that's actually kind of an Egyptian thing, right? Where you had Egyptians believed that they died and they moved into the next realm, became gods, whatever. But if they were lucky enough to be reincarnated or reborn, they tried to leave clues or markers for themselves so that they could recognize their work in their next life and learn from their previous selves and move on to higher planes of evolution. So I like that this was included. It's just another thing that Robert Jordan did that was mind-bogglingly awesome. And seriously, that man was just super intelligent. I'm blown away like constantly, especially going through the reread, which, like I said, he's something. Perrin is something.
Is that confirmed? I mean, that would make sense. That would explain why he like stares around and fucking does fuck all.
Explain why he sucks. Robert Jordan's just so smart. He impresses me with, I know the end of the story. I know how these things go. And when we're going through these rereads, I go, holy shit, I forgot all about that. And it fits. It makes perfect sense with the rest of the series. And I think there's only one other story that I think has gone this long and has this level of story continuity. Well, no, I'm sorry, two. I'll say there's two that have gone on like this that have this level of continuity. One is Doctor Who, where you've got a 60, 70-year-old TV show that still has callbacks and tie-ins to the first couple of seasons, the first couple of Doctors, that fit and make sense and are beautiful. And the second one is One Piece. That anime is insane. And you've got callbacks in episode 1200 that go back to like episode 5. And you're like, what the hell? How did you know that you were going to do this? And Robert Jordan, he's up there with the writers of Doctor Who and One Piece, because and it's more impressive because he did it himself.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. So next week we'll be auditioning for a new Sorvan Mahale, one that doesn't believe in the hogwash that is One Piece being in the same tier as Robert Jordan.
One Piece is the best. I love it.
Look, just because they don't know when to stop when they were never ahead doesn't mean that
we're in the final arc. We're in the final arc.
Didn't they say that the writers of One Piece would never stop writing until they died? That One Piece would continue until they died?
Nope. Oda said Oda is the main
so they retracted.
Guy.
They lied about what they said.
Goda, the goat.
Got you.
Oda. Goat, Oda, Goda.
Well, hold on. No, that's not Akira Toriyama, so there ain't no goat there. So let's pump the brakes there.
Fighting words!
Before I have to take and drag... Before I have to pull a Tamao Thor and drag my ball Z in a Z across your forehead. All right. All right.
I'm in. Let's go.
I'm telling you, if somebody would take the Bleach art style and put it to, or sorry, take the One Piece storyline and put it to the Bleach art style, I'd actually watch it.
That's actually what
I'd
they're
actually
doing.
watch it.
You know that, right? They're redoing
The whole thing.
They're
If they redo
redoing-
it with an actually decent art style, I would probably actually watch
well,
it, and
that's
that would
what they're
take
doing.
away most of my reason for hating One Piece.
There's a One Piece anime remake in which they are upgrading the quality of animation for people who are just now starting into it, who don't have to watch the animation from the 90s. Because, guys, One Piece has been going for
Too long.
literal decades. The animation right now is insane. It's like so many frames per second. They are oh my god, it's insane. So
Yeah.
it's jarring to watch the first few episodes of One Piece, the first arc in One Piece, and to watch the current arc in One Piece. It's two completely different.
We'll see if it actually happens though, because they tried to remake Dragon Ball Z to adjust pacing and art style to update it with Dragon Ball Z Kai, and it flopped before they. I don't even think they finished. They either finished the Saiyan arc or barely, almost got to finishing the Saiyan arc. It didn't even make it to the Namek arc before it didn't have the viewership to keep going. But all they were doing, I think they did the lazy remaster where they took the episodes and put it through a program to just make it look better. Like, they tried to take, like, 720 footage and render it out in 4K and just say that it looks better, I think is what they did. And they just cut out a bunch of filler.
Maybe.
So,
we'll see.
I don't know. This is coming from the same enterprise that also won't canonize, which I agree with, but signed off on the creation of Dragon Ball GT. So, haven't always made the best decisions.
GT was rough.
Could have kept Super Saiyan 4. That would have been dope. You could have put that in Dragon Ball Super.
Super Saiyan Blue.
No,
which
no,
is
that's
essentially
completely
4.
different. No.
No.
No. Super Saiyan 4 looks badass. That's a fucking art style. That's the only badass looking thing they had in all of GT. And I would have stroked Akira Toriyama had he kept that in fucking mainline Dragon Ball. I would have made it happen. Look, it was so good. They even kept it in all the Budokai games, and it's still in the games to this day, even with GT still not being canon.
I need to have you on
That
my
is-
show. We need to talk anime
that
now
is
about
that
the
is
show.
a sexy transformation and has the best backstory of any Dragon Ball Z transformation
Damn.
for Goku, not for Vegeta. Vegeta's backstory is I have it because Goku has it, which they chose not to give him for Super Saiyan 3 until Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Daima, which I haven't watched yet, but I just know that they finally give Vegeta Super Saiyan 3. But he's like a kid. They're all like kid sized.
I love it.
Anyway, get
Perfect.
DBZ abridged instead of Kai. Honestly, DBZ abridged is
Hilarious.
almost better story.
Yeah, what's your favorite episode of Dragon Ball, Reese?
Got One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, and Pokemon checked off on my BTP bingo sheet.
Shut up.
To be honest, I'm on episode of 3. Wait, 3? I think episode 3 of I Was Reincarnated as a Slime.
Oh my god.
Oh shit, that's a good
Such
anime.
a good one though. Okay, it's
Hell
okay.
yeah.
I like the
So I'll
earlier.
stay past episode 3. Is that what you're saying? Keep going.
Oh yeah, it's
Go
so
for
good.
like the first couple seasons and then after
Okay,
that, you
okay.
can just kind of meh.
Yeah.
I have to watch the movie with Spy Family.
I haven't
I
watched
haven't
any
watched
of
Spy
Spy
Family
Family
yet.
I'm a pretty big fan of Anya, so
So Spy
I
Family.
have this weird thing where, like, if an anime is out and it's super, super popular and everybody's talking about it, I just have this, like, weird, like, hipster aversion to watching it.
yeah. The anti-hipster vibe. I get it.
Yeah, so, like, I'm almost at the point where I can finally watch Spy X Spy. Like, I didn't start watching Game of Thrones until, like, season 5 had finished.
You should watch Hunter x Hunter. That's way done. We're way done with that.
Yeah,
We moved
that
on.
one, Hunter x Hunter is pretty good.
That's
Yeah,
pretty-
we'll hit us up later. We have tons of anime recommendations. We'll have
Let's
you watch an
Okay.
anime for the rest
Get out
of
this.
your lawful natural life.
Oh boy, there's a lot of anime.
Reincarnated as a slime is absolutely great though. Though the school teacher arc for me was like the most boring thing ever.
That's when I lost it.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for tuning in to this anime podcast. I'm sorry, this Black Tower podcast, a Wheel of Time podcast, where we discuss Wheel of Time things and only Wheel of Time things. And if we go on a tangent, well, you know what that means. It means that the bricks of the Black Tower are stuck together with the mortar of tangent. And
Of
that's
reincarnated slime.
of reincarnated
Yeah.
slimes. That's right.
Thank you.
Reese,
The
thank
bricks
you so
don't
much
all
for
have to
being
be
here.
like glossy black. Sometimes we decorate them. We've got DBZ painted bricks. We can have hobbies now. The last battle is not looming. Right?
Anime sponsored bricks on the Black Tower. Love it.
We all live in the weeb dormitory of the Black Tower compound.
I would like the bricks if they were cream puffs.
You would.
I definitely thought you were about to say I'd like the bricks if they were cream pied, and I didn't know how that was going to work.
That works too.
We're not.
I'll take them both.
God damn it! They're out there cream pieing the wall bricks again. I told them to use fucking concrete,
Reese,
but they're
thank
using
you so much
they're
for being
using
here.
concrete.
We're so appreciative of your time and attendance tonight. Do you have anything you'd like to say to anybody?
I'm just here for the concrete. I don't know what to tell you.
Wait, what?
You didn't hear me say that? I said I told them to use concrete, not concrete.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for tuning in for this week's dose of taint, hot and sticky, fresh from the dark one. And we love you. Seriously, if you want to help us out, you can go to our Patreon. You can become a patron for just as little as $1 a month. For $1 a month, you can support a starving soldier who is being bullied by dedicated. And then we can have fun. Every single penny of what we make goes right back into the Black Tower podcast coffers, which basically just pays for monthly merch for our higher tier members. Look into that. And usually pays for the Gathering Madness, which is a party that happens in October of every year. This year, it will be in Utah. So start saving your funds to come to Utah and let's party. Let's do what is an isekai?
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for
That
listening.
time I got reincarnated as the Dragon Reborn.
Thank you for being awesome. We love you. From all of us here at the Black Tower, I have been your Snorv on the Hill, Josh, and wherever you are out there, we hope you leave here just a little bit more insane than you were when you first got here.
I've been your Bajan Mahal, Andrew. Thank you all again.
You've been waiting for this moment, for this feeling to grow. In the shadows, always watching, always running the show.